Right, we're back at Linear Fisheries again. Last time you see me, we was over on B1 and B2 during the winter. This time we're over on St John's. Spring, it's good conditions. I've just netted this one as the cameras are turned up. So we're hopeful for a productive session. Right, Joe's been here 15 minutes now. I had that one to do pictures with straight away that I netted just before he turned up. And we've just got another one off a different spot this time as well. This spot don't really do many day bites, but we've bent into one now. There's a bit of weed out here as well, so steady pressure, they normally just pull straight through. Right, that steady pressure pulled it through the weed. I've got it moving again now. Once they're past that first bit of weed, they do just come straight through then. It's quite shallow in the margins as well, so once they get in front, they just battle under the rod tip. So that's when the fight really starts, to be honest. I'm still playing this one, and the rod that does do the bites in the daytime is currently going now. It's just pulled up tight. I think it's just sat out there. So we're going to get this one in and then try and get on to that next one. All right, I've just landed that first one. I've got into this second one. I think it's just picked it up and gone and sat in a bit of a weed. Didn't really pull too much. Hopefully we can pull this one out of the weed. And that'll be fish number 2, 3 in 10 minutes. This is the first part of that double take you just see me have, mid-20. I'm going to show you the other one real quick because I need to get the rods back out. I've got no more rods out there. I think there's a few more to be had today. This is the second part of the double take that I just had. Another 20 pounder. There's 2 different spots, them 2 rods. They're still out there. I'm going to get the rods back out there because I'll be happy to be catching a few more of these. Right, over here on St John's, it's an 18-acre gravel pit, sort of divided into 3 different areas, if you like. You've got, down the bottom end, you've got the big bowl, that's the deep end, that's around about 12 to 14 foot deep. Then as you come up the lake, you go through the channel. In the summer, that's a good area, they hold up in there, it gets weedy, and then keep coming round, you come up to where we are currently. This is the shallow end. It's around about 7 to 8 foot up here. So in the summer, it's weedy. The fish just sit up here, they hold up here. There's around about 1,000 carp in here. along with about the same amount catfish. Carp go up to 48-ish pound, catfish go nearly to 120 pound. So my fishing on here, I've fished on here for a few years now. I always fish it around about this time of year. The amount of 30s in here, there's just so many. Every other fish, you're looking at a decent sized fish. My best capture from here, I would say, was probably 4 years ago now. One called the two-tone, don't come out very often. That was 43-14. I've had a couple of the known ones, so I'm hopeful that this session I'll be able to show you another one. I fished quite a lot of matches. I've done a few on here in the past couple of years. Done quite well on there. I prefer fishing down the bowl. I think they're just easier to catch over bait, and it's easier to get a big hit of fish. I just enjoy getting a lot of fish and hopefully bump into a bigger one along the way. In this session currently, I'm going against my normal style of fishing by putting loads of bait out, free on a spot. We're at the top end, there's plenty of fish around. It's more so fishing far margins and tight against the edges. So I'm fishing single solid bags, but I can show you more about that as we go into the session. Right, after them fish, went a bit quiet for about an hour, but I've just started getting some liners on the left rod again along the far margin to the pipe. And then all of a sudden the right hand rod, which we're not really expecting to do a lot, just burst into life. But unfortunately I lost it pretty much instantly. As I've just recast that right hand rod back out there again after losing that fish, I was getting more liners on that left rod. So I don't think it's going to be too long until that left one's away. Right. Not long after we was getting them liners and I just lost one, we was still getting them liners once I redone that right hand rod, so it didn't feel like it was going to take too long. I was just halfway through tying a few bags, the left hander has eventually gone. Took a little bit longer than expected, but only probably an hour and a half since the last bite on that pipe rod, and I'm into another one. It's a good one, that. It's better. I don't know whether we'll get more liners this time, because obviously where I couldn't pull the line because I didn't want to pull the rod, like the line was sort of bowing it into that margin a bit. So anything that goes along there, I did try to pull the line around a bit, but I didn't want to pull it too hard because I moved the bag.
Buried in my own disease.
Buzzing with this one. After losing the last one, the left-hander did go, and I'm rewarded with this 34-pounder. I was thinking about redoing that rod. I had that many liners on it and it just wasn't going. I didn't know if I'd been done or if something was sat wrong. But when I was playing with this one, I could have swore it was 20 pound. But when it popped up and I got this, buzzing. Hopefully I can catch a few more this sort of size. So now we're in a bit of a quiet period. I thought I'd run you through what I use in my bag and how I tie my bags. So me personally, I use different flavours and sizes of the pellets. I use the oily bag mix with the milk and nut crush. That's the 2 bag mixes. And then after that, I put the bloodworm and the krill, just plain pellets, 2 and 3 mil. It seems to be working on this trip. And in the Linear shop, they've got plenty of the CC Moore products in there. So go and pop in, have a look for yourself, see what one you want to fancy to give a go. And so basically how I tie mine is I put a tiny little layer of pellet in, I lower my hook bait and I make sure the hook bait sits in one of the corners with the hook like flat. After that, I put a bit more pellet in to like cover the whole hook bait and the hook so I don't damage anything. Lower the lead in, make sure the lead's bang centre of the bag and then fill all around it. I like using the small bags just because for me on these sort of lakes you could be fishing anywhere from 40 yards out all the way to 120, 130 yards, and these bags can get you out to them distances. Inside the hook bait of my choice is the Northern Special Pink Wafter. The last couple of weeks down here they've been deadly, everyone's catching on them. We went into the shop earlier to have a look at some of the products and the pink Northern Special Wafters are completely sold out. So once the bag's full, I'll then grab hold of the top, bang it about in my hand to make sure every area of the bag's covered with pellet and powder so I can get it as tight as possible. Then after that, I'll twist it, get some PVA tape, twist it around 4 or 5 times and do a couple of just overhand knots, do about 3 of them. And then I just like to trim all the excess off just to keep it as aerodynamic as possible. And then at the very end, I'll go back to the bottom corners, pinch and grab them around, push all the pellet in, lick and stick both the corners in so they go nice and compact. I'm going to go get the rest of my bags tied up and fingers crossed we can have a few more going into the night. Right, we've just done a bit to camera about what I use in my solid bags and how I present. I've refreshed both the rods because they'd been out there pretty quiet for a couple of hours and it hasn't taken long. Right-hander's gone again. I'm going to concentrate because this one is putting up hell of a scrap. It's quite weedy and it's going to go near my other rod. Don't want to be wiping that one out. It looks like there could be a chance for a few more. Another decent one. That's another one. It's bigger than that. Bigger than that last one, I reckon. Well, check that one out, 41 pound, 2 ounce St John's Mirror Carp. If this is the last one of the session, I really couldn't care what a fish that is. I'm buzzing. One last look before it goes back. 41 pound, 2 ounce St John's Carp. How about that? I'm in.
There you go. Yeah, go, go, go.
That'll be another one. Right, as you'd have just seen, just slipping back that 40. It didn't quite go as nice as we thought it was going to, because my right hand, same rod that done the 40, decided to bust off as well. So I had to try and climb out the water, hit into it, but unfortunately I lost that one. So we go again, the rod's back out there, on the money. Let's hope for another one. Right, went a bit quiet after that 40 pounder. We just sat back, chilled out, but the rods were still out there. They are still showing. There's a lot of fish showing round to my right now in the bigger expanse of water. I've seen a few fish out the back where my rods are, well, where this rod is, and yeah, it's just peeled off again. So, it'd be nice if it's the same size as that last one. One thing to consider when fishing with a weed and that, obviously that's been in 2 or 3 weed beds now, bringing it in. Once it gets close, this is when you want to start taking your time. Stay calm. You don't want to start losing fish at the net because you start panicking, and so literally just wait for the fish to come up. Like, I almost pretty much drag the fish into the net before I lift it. I don't like scooping at them. Like, just let the tip do the work, and you'll end up seeing more fish come in the back of your net. Well, there we go. I stayed calm, There was a couple of chances I had that I could have scooped it, but I didn't. He's in my net. I'm going to get him out now. That's another one to my tally. Let's have a look at him. So here's my latest one of the session and my smallest one of the session. I'm getting liners on my left hand rod now, so I reckon we will get another one. So keeping calm is key. I think that's why I land so many of the fish that I hook. I never rush once they're near the net. Once they're ready, they're ready. So I'm gonna put this one back and hopefully going into the night, I'll have some more. Well, it might be small, but they all count. Right, just had a take off the pipe again. While I'm playing that, my other rod's gone, so I've had to call Joe in to assist me. He's managed to land his, while mine's currently weeded up. None of them have weeded me up this bad so far. Normally, a bit of steady pressure and they pull out. I've had this on for 10 minutes or something now. I can keep feeling it kicking. It's just not kicking enough to get himself out the weed. So I'm gonna keep a bit more steady pressure. If not, I'll try going slack, see if he can come out that way. Nah, it don't even feel like a weed bed if I'm honest. There we go, using the hill to his advantage. So I'm not sure what that was, but that fish has been solid for 10 minutes, I'd say, 15 minutes. I've tried everything. I've gone slack, steady pressure, walked up the hill, went in the next peg. Nothing was working. In the end, I managed to get him to take loads of line off of me. And then I managed to get to the top of the hill, get a different line angle on it and managed to pull it free of some sort of snag, or I don't think it was a weed bed because that's the first trouble I've had from it. But we've got him just down in front now. Joe managed to land one for me, which is another small one. So let's hopefully this is another better one, I'm not sure. So here's the prize from the one that had me weeded up for 10-15 minutes. This one is 31.10. So the big ones are out there, they're getting caught and I'm enjoying myself. So tomorrow I'll run through the venue a little bit more and some of the tips that I do to help me land fish like this, and hopefully you'll be out on the bank soon getting some sessions like I've had this time. So a little update, going into the night last night, we managed 3 more just before dark. We had a double take and just an individual one. And then through the night, rain come in, wind changed, cold wind, easterly, blowing straight into us. And I only managed the one. But woke up this morning, refreshed the rods, and it's happened again. Just pretty much instantly once I started redoing the rods. I've had a double take this morning with a 31 and a 34.5. Keep putting the rods out and they just keep going. I think we've had a fair few again this morning. The rods are back out there, they're still showing. I think there's a good chance for a few more before I have to go home. Right, now I might have a minute. I'm going to talk you through how I like to fish St John's. In this current session, I've just been fishing single solid bags across to the far margins and to the pipe and casting to show and fish. That always is good to nick bites, and where there's plenty of fish that get up here, you can get just steady action, consistent action. But my normal style of fishing would be to put bait out and fish free on a spot, which that's when I'd prefer to do that down in the bowl end. You've got a lot more water per swim. So normally I'd start with maybe 10 to 15 spoms, depending on how it's looking on the day. And the mix I'd prefer to use would be the Pro Stim liver, and I mulch that up. I leave it soaking in water for a couple of days before I turn up. So I mulch that up with corn, hemp and some pellets, put all that in together, but I only make my mixes small, so I'd make enough for 3 to 5 spoms and I put it all out, so I'm keeping my bait as fresh as possible. Another good method on St John's would be the zigs. I always start with 8 and 10 foots down in the bowl. It's about 14 foot of water, but you have got to be mindful, a lot of cats do get caught on the zigs, so if you don't like the catfish, I'd probably stay away from the zigs. So yeah, St John's offers a good variety of styles of fishing for any angler that wants to come down here, and St John's would be one of my favourite lakes. I spend a lot of time on here just because on its day you can do different styles of fishing, solid bags, zigs, overbait, and they all work. So there's something different for me to do every time I come down here. So refresh the bags, which I'd say that's the most important thing to do. If you're getting regular action, like now, I've got one on now. So like I said, getting up, refreshing your bags, if you're getting constant action and it goes quiet, it is a must really, because you never really know that you've only got a small pile of bait there. If a fish comes in and stirs it all up, you're just left there with a hook bait. So it's always important to just give a fresh bag out there. And like has happened this morning, I've redone them and instantly it's just started going again. So this is going to be the last one of my session. It's been a mental session down here at St John's. So I've had well over 20 fish down here at Linear. It's been a mental session, plenty of fish over £30, including the big one at £42. So I hope some of the tips that I've shown in this video will help you put some more fish on the bank sometime.